the history of Nigeria, no armed robber has ever held the country to ransom like Lawrence Nomayagbo Anini did. According to the newsroom's publication, Lawrence Anini was born in 1960. He was from Oro village, some miles away from Benin City. He was the only son of his mother and the second child of his parents. Anini moved to Benin City and he became a taxi driver. Despite being young, he was known as the law at the park because he helped to resolve motor park crisis. Anini in a short while channeled his driving skills into crime. He became the official driver for Benin bandits. He formed his own gang, which included Monde Osubo, who was the second in command, Solomon Osemwekai, and others. He had an insider in the police force, DSP George Iyamu, who aided the gang's operation with security information. Anini's criminal activity started in the early 1980s. Residents of the then Bendel and the neighboring states lived in fear and panic, while Anini had a free rein with his partners. In August 1986, he and his gang raided First Bank in Sabongida Ora in Edo State. He stole $2,000. At that time, a dollar was exchanged for 5 naira. On October 21, 1986, after stealing from African Continental Bank, Egbe, he drove to the nearby market and sprayed part of his loot to the passers-by, like the popular Robin Hood. Anini was said to be brutal, and policemen were his top victims. Anini wrote letters to his victims to announce his planned visit, and he never failed to honor his words. He wrote a letter to the branch manager of the New Nigeria Bank, Ring Road, and asked the manager to set aside a sum of 10,000 naira, which was then a huge sum of money, because he intended to visit any time. Instead of reporting to the police because of the disbelief in the system, the manager ran to the then Oba of Benin to report Anini's letter. He also wrote a letter to the then head of state, Ibrahim Babangida. Anini positioned himself as an advocate for the National Union of Road Transport Workers, the market women, and his fellow criminals. He said in the letter that for peace to return to Benin City, his conditions must be met. His guts angered Babangida, who wanted him arrested at all costs. In December 1986, a 10-man of policemen, headed by the then Superintendent of Police, Kayode Uareroro, brought an end to Anini's atrocity when he was in his usual merriment mood in the company of ladies. With the information gotten from the locals, the policemen went straight to the house where Anini was hiding at number 26 Oyemwosa Street, opposite Ugwadala Primary School, Benin City. Anini was apprehended with very little resistance. When the officer inquired of Anini tried to play smart, claiming that the man they seek was in the inner bedroom. Anini tried to move past Uareroro and his team, but the exercise was futile. Uareroro promptly reached for his gun and pumped bullets into Anini's leg. When asked again if he was Anini, without hesitation, he affirmed the question. Anini was transferred to the military hospital and one of his legs was amputated. Anini was captured and his charms were disposed of. The man who terrorized a whole state suddenly became remorseful. He revealed the roles played by key police officers and men who aided their criminal activities. He particularly revealed that Judge Iyamu, who was the most senior police officer, shielded and gave them information. Justice James Omwagege, the chairman of the First Benin Robbery and Firearms Tribunal, tried Anini, his gang and DSP Iyamu, and they were sentenced to death in the month of February 1987. On the 29th of March 1987, thousands of people were gathered there to witness the execution of the notorious armed robbers, Lawrence Anini and his team. According to the publication of the African Guardian, it was said that Anini gave birth to two children, Osaro Lawrence Lawson and Osayi Lawrence Lawson, by his wife Ugo. Anini's crimes left a stigma on his family, who many years after his death are still labeled as sons of criminals wherever they walk on the streets.